Hi everybody, welcome back to Connerty Meadows Farm. My name is Ricky and I know it's been a while since we've been in the kitchen. So today I decided we would make a wonderful fluffy treat. We are going to make homemade marshmallows. I've had a number of people ask me, how do you make your homemade marshmallows? So today we're going to make mint flavored marshmallows. They are wonderful to put in your hot chocolate in the wintertime and you get like this beautiful minty deliciousness of melted marshmallow. All right, let's get started. Some things that we're going to need. We are going to need some gelatin. So there's a number of different kinds of gelatin. There's this one, there's this gelatin, or you can go to the bulk barn and you can buy it in bulk. You're going to need corn syrup. It's got to be the white corn syrup. Unfortunately, you cannot make this recipe without corn syrup. Honey won't work, sugar won't work, maple syrup won't work. You don't need the dark corn syrup, just the light white one. You're going to need a very good thermometer. This is a must. You can try it without the thermometer, but your marshmallows may come out more crunchy than you would like. You're going to need a whisk attachment on a stand mixer and a pot on a stove. First thing we're going to do in our stand mixer bowl is we are going to add half a cup of water. And I will put this recipe down below in the box. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of gelatin, which is equal to 3 packages. I'm gonna go ahead and use my loose gelatin. You're gonna sprinkle this over top of the water. Just sprinkle it around. Then we're just gonna put this in our stand mixer and let it sit there while we're working on some other things. Now we're over at the stove. We have our pot here. We're gonna start with half a cup of water into the pot. We're going to put in 2 cups of sugar. And try to keep the sugar from the edge of the pot if you can. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a cup of white corn syrup. We're going to turn the stove on here and we're going to set it to somewhere between medium and low. We may need to adjust it a bit. We don't start on high. We don't want to scorch it. Just bring it up slowly to temperature. This is where having a very good candy thermometer is a good idea. A couple things to note while we are watching this pot on the stove. We are not going to stir this pot. You're not going to swish it around. You're not going to stir it. You are simply going to let it come to a boil all on its own. The only thing you can do is keep watch with your thermometer, which I'm not going to put in yet. So the first thing you're going to notice is that this liquid in here will all go clear. At that time is when I start to keep a watch with my thermometer. Until that time, we're just going to sit and let it do its thing. Well, our pot is coming to a boil. I just thought I'd pop over here and show you what this looks like. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's starting to become a very gel-like consistency down in there. For now, we still just ignore this. We're not doing anything with it. You can see things are starting to boil a little bit. There's some bubbles coming around on the outside of the pot. Again, we're not doing anything. We're just letting it do its thing. right, let's see where our temperature's at. So we are aiming for 240 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, it's not clear in there yet, so we can't be close. We are at 164. Now, this is not on a high heat. This is on a very low heat. We're just letting it do its thing on a low and slow to get it up to a boil. I don't know if you guys can see that. We're sitting at 226.4. It takes a really long time to go from the 220s into the 240. So this is just a patience game. You can see how it's clear in there now, other than all the bubbles, but there's no more sugar left to dissolve. I'm at 230 now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to the stand mixer for a quick moment. So here at the stand mixer, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let this mix. What we're doing is we're breaking up the gelatin a little bit to make it a little bit frothy. And now we're gonna pop back over quick and check on the pot. Getting close. 235, 36. Won't be long now. Just hold steady. 239. Almost there, guys. We just had a quick jump. We're at 241. Oh, there we go. 240. Let's get this shut off. And now we got to move quickly. Now we're going to turn our mixer on low. And then we are slowly going to pour our pot of our hot liquid in. Take your time. We don't want you to get burnt. This stuff is very, very hot and will burn. I try to give it a quick scrape as good as I can. All right, now we're gonna let it mix. After a couple minutes on low, I do slowly start to bring the speed of this up. You don't want to bring it up too quickly because you don't want this to splash all over the place. If you have an anti-splash thing that you can put around it, that's great. I don't have one anymore, so we just go slow. And you can see the steam coming off of here. This is hot. Don't touch your side of your pot. Way too hot to be doing that. I'll leave this on this speed for another couple minutes and then I'm gonna bump it up to the next speed. Okay, it's thickening up a little bit now, so we're gonna go up a bit higher speed. Now your machine is not gonna like this, and you're gonna sit at this for about 10 minutes. Starting to thicken up. Still not thick enough though. I'm on full. Motor is really not happy. So we're gonna add some vanilla. And we're gonna add some mint extract. While our mixer is still mixing behind us, we're gonna get our pan ready. Just gonna butter baking pan here. Make sure you get all the sides Then you're going to add some icing sugar to the pan, and that's gonna help the marshmallows to not stick to it. You kind of would spread it around the same way you would if you were flouring a pan for pie. Yes, it's gonna get messy. Let's have a peek and see how our marshmallow is doing here. You can see that it is coming off and just sliding right back down. That means that it's not holding its peaks yet, so it's not ready. Back on it goes. When the outside of your bowl gets to the point that you can touch it without burning your fingers, you're getting close. There we go, have a look. So it's coming down, just not as quickly as it did before. So we still need just a bit more time. I can easily touch the outside now. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. It's sinking, but not super fast. If you leave it much longer, it'll actually go the other way and it'll become liquid again and you'll lose the structure of the marshmallow. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour this out now. Let's see, it is holding its shape enough. You won't be able to spend a lot of time trying to scoop these clean and dry. Now the last thing we're going to do is, just like we put icing sugar on the bottom, we're going to put some icing sugar on the top, and that'll help things from sticking. So I usually put some in the strainer, and then I just pat it around. Basically, I'm just trying to make sure that it's not shiny on the top, and then I know that I have enough. All right, now we're gonna cover this and we're gonna let it sit overnight and cool down. What's left of your beater and your pot can be enjoyed with your fingers. And I just use elastics to hold it on. And we'll come back tomorrow. That's all that's left in the pot. That's all that's left of the beater. We've been 24 hours. We're gonna go ahead and let's get this marshmallow out of here, cut and ready to be eaten. So we put the icing sugar on the top, so that should help it from sticking. We're gonna have a knife here and we're going to put some butter on it just to help it from sticking to the marshmallow a little bit. It's not gonna completely stop it. It is still gonna squish. The first thing I'm gonna wanna try to do is get the marshmallow out of here. And remember, we put the icing sugar and the butter all the way along the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to make sure that we're not sticking to the side anywhere. Just pulling it off a little bit like this. And as you can see, for the most part, it's not really sticking anywhere, which is exactly what we want, which means when we put it upside down, it should just pop right out. We might need a little bit of extra help. Just go up with the knife and gently pull down. Here, I'll turn it this way so maybe you can see it better. Just gonna, it is still sticking in some places. There we go, starting to come out. Looking pretty good. And as you can see, the icing sugar makes it so that it doesn't really stick to my fingers. There we go. It's all out. Now, we can go ahead and get ready to cut these. The next thing we're gonna need to do is get a bowl. We're gonna put some icing sugar in the bowl. Then, go ahead and cut these marshmallows. Now you can see that it is sticking to the knife a little bit. That's why we buttered it. That's okay. So now the sides that we cut are going to be really sticky. This was the outside edge, so it's not sticky. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead with those sticky sides and dip them in the icing sugar. And then to make sure you get the excess icing sugar off, just shake it around in there. And now your sides aren't sticky. Now this part is messy. Expect your counter to get full of icing sugar. Half the fun though. I usually will throw a couple of them in there. It makes it go a little bit faster. And of course you can make these as big or as small as you'd like. Now, another thing I like to do is, these ones are mint flavored. There's lots of other flavors. We've done banana, we've done coconut. I like to take coconut bits and put them in and flavor with coconut. Really, you're just limited by your imagination and what flavors you'd like and what flavors you can get your hands on, what extracts. And then these can just be stored in a plastic bag. For now, I'm just popping them back into the container they came out of. But they can be stored in a plastic bag and they'll keep on the counter for quite a while. You also can freeze these, believe it or not, and pull them out and let them come to room temperature and use them, and they work really, really well. So they're very versatile that way. I like to give them for Christmas presents, so we quite often will make them ahead of time. Just putting some more butter on my knife. We like to make them ahead of time, and then I can just stick them in the freezer and then pull them out when I put all of my little Christmas goodies together. And then you can see they're not sticky anymore. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. And this is what we are left with. Squishy marshmallows. So let's go ahead and make a hot chocolate and show you how they perform. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Connerty Meadows Farm as we made some delicious marshmallows. See you next time.